I'm going to take a few seconds to try and see if I can operate this before I embarrass myself. Okay, see, I knew it. It's still not working. Oh, now I get it. Okay. So yeah, as you've heard, I am Marcel Lorraine. I'm the founder of BTC Dada. And essentially what BTC Dada is, it's a nonprofit organization that helps to empower the African female through financial education, and we leverage on Bitcoin to do that. So I'm going to go into that a bit later, but let's start. So I'm going to start by acknowledging that the majority of us in this room are Africans, and you'd agree with me when I say being an African is hard, right? Is it? But then I'm going to continue and say being an African female is even harder. Now, there are certain challenges that we face as African females, and I'm here to share with you these challenges. And have in mind that these challenges come actually in different forms, shapes, and levels. Now, this stems from social, economic hurdles, as well as gender-based discrimination. Now, the first thing that I want to talk to is, for example, in Kenya currently, we have seen the rise of femicide. It has been on the rise since 2017. Last year, we had about 152 killings. This year, for the last 3 months, a female has been killed every single day. So every day we have news that this particular woman was killed at this particular point. And you know what's surprising about it? Only 15% of these females die in the hands of the strangers, meaning 75% are killed by people they actually trust and loved. And this was a report made by one of the largest media platforms in Kenya, which is Nation Media. So like I said, I'm going to talk about the challenges and just help you understand what we go through as women. And I want you to imagine with me these certain scenarios. Imagine being in a position where you cannot afford sanitary towels, thereby forcing you as a female, as a young female, to actually engage yourself with older men, risking early pregnancies, unwanted pregnancies, or infections. Imagine yourself being in a scenario where you're paid 77% less, or 45% if you're lucky and you're in the urban centers. Imagine a case where you're in the same economy, you have the same responsibilities, but you have lack of substantial collateral. Imagine yourself being or seeing your male siblings go off to get higher education while you get married off at an early age. Now, of course, for the ones who are in the urban areas, this might not be the narrative, and for the majority of you, you might not necessarily have had to experience this, but in one way or another, when you go outside the urban cities in Kenya or even in Africa, in other African countries, this is the case. So how does Bitcoin come in? So for me, before Bitcoin, there was not really like a chance for us females to get true financial freedom or independence or even a voice. So through Bitcoin Dada, we are trying to change that narrative and telling our communities, not just as the females, that there is a way that we as African females can also contribute by building Africa with this new technology. And how do we do this? So at Bitcoin Dada, we have trainings every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Bitcoin Dadas, we meet. So we meet every Tuesdays and Thursdays just to learn about financial education, which is the most important thing, because for you to understand Bitcoin, you need to understand the flaws of your current financial fiat system. So every Thursdays and Tuesdays, we accommodate mothers, wives, working professionals, businesses, just to help them understand where the world is going and what's wrong with the current leadership or the government or the control system that we are currently in. So we've been doing this since 2022. We've done 7 cohorts, and we came up with Dada Devs. Dada Devs is a new product. We just recently graduated our first set of developers. And like Femi said, and he keeps on stressing this, that we need to build solutions for Africans by Africans, right? The African population, this is something that I should have mentioned when I started this speech, but the African population is composed of half, if not more, of the African females. That means we make most of the transactions. We're paying the bills, we're taking care of the children, we're doing most of the transactions that are happening at home, it's us, the women, who are doing. And I believe you will agree with me when we say that the majority of the mothers, our mothers, actually the pillars of our homes. True or true? True or true? So when we are building solutions, we want to have input that is coming from somebody who actually understands the challenges, right? So that is where Dada Devs comes in. So we've been building applications that actually cater to our needs as not just as women, but also as Africans. Last but not least is the mentorship program, which I feel there's a big gap when it comes to educators. We normally just teach people, Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin is the next thing. HODL for the next 10 years. Don't sell your Bitcoin, right? But then what happens after they've learned this? So introduce the mentorship program where we refine the skills that they already have. Remember, everybody that comes into this space has different skill sets. So for example, we have writers, we have developers, we have entrepreneurs, we have investors as well. So we get Bitcoiners, and we're very lucky to have support from Bitcoiners. We have Okin in the house. Okin, who's been in the space. Thank you so much for being one of our mentors. Of course, we have Femi Longe, who's also joined us several times. We have had Jeff Booth, we've had Jesse, we've had Vlad. I think I saw Vlad somewhere, and several others. We have had Renata from Fedi. Yeah, we've had Renata as well, and so many others who've actually helped us fill in that gap. And by doing this, we've seen that there is a change. So the beauty about the mentorship program is that our ladies can go into the Bitcoin's ecosystem, the tech space, or even the larger community and get employment. And that is it's very important. You just don't teach people what Bitcoin is. And at the end of the day, they go back, they're still poor, they're still struggling, and they're still dependent on their fiat. So I want to share a couple of stories that really stand out within our community. And these are not the only ones, but they are representative of what we have been able to do. So for us at Bitcoin Dada, it's not just about the African female. It's about making the community around us better. So we try to include everybody, and especially the underprivileged. We've been able to work with this school from Kibera slums. For those who don't know, Kibera is one of the largest slums in Africa. So where we actually donate basic hygienic products as well as educational materials. So every Bitcoin donation that we get during this fundraising period, it helps to keep these girls in school to avoid, them taken advantage of. And every time you donate to Bitcoin Dada, you're essentially helping the young ladies stay in school. I've seen her, she was really smiling at me. So, like I said, the mentorship program helped these ladies refine their skills and be able to actually get employment into this space. I'd like to highlight one of the brilliant minds that we've had in the Bitcoin Dada space. She's called Sharon. She's right there. She works for BTrust. I believe her bosses are here, Abu Bakar. She works for BTrust, and when she joined Bitcoin Dada, she really didn't know where to, put her skills into. So through the mentorship program, she got a job at BTrust where she gets paid in Bitcoin, and now she thrives and also tries to help other ladies along. So we've had a lot of females also getting employment in the tech space, which is a plus for us. I would like to highlight a new project. We have so many projects that are coming up with the Bitcoin Dada ladies. I would like to highlight Bit Biashara by Roslyn. So basically what Bit Biashara is, she onboards merchants. So if you're here, this is your first time in Kenya, or even if you're Kenyan, you're wondering, where can I go to spend this Bitcoin of mine? Or how do these people who actually accept Bitcoin find it? The best person to approach would be Roslyn from Bit Biashara. She's been doing an amazing job. They recently had their first merchant meeting, and you can follow them on Twitter as well. So we are basically creating Bitcoin circular economies. Last but not least is the African solutions that I've been talking about. We've come up with a few products that we are currently building, and I've highlighted SATSLO. Reason being is because we are launching it today, and we are launching it today. We have a workshop at 2 p.m. at the TBD. I would encourage you to come and see not just SATSLO, but other products that we've been working on. We have a very controversial t-shirt, and I would like one of the ladies to just really fast run here, because I want everybody to see this. 3, 2, 1, not fast enough, but yeah. So this is not our logo, but I felt like Marxists do anything for attention. And I was like, we are also women. We can do worse. And this is it. So if this does not make you get to our workshop, there's something wrong with you. So thank you, Edith. Edith is our community lead from Uganda. So on the Africa solutions, we have had a couple of projects coming up. So we have the SATSLO, we've had Pay with SATS, we've had Edu Bitcoin, we have Tando, we have, what is it called? Impact Donate. So like I said, if you want to learn about more of these projects, please show up at our event later on at 2 p.m. So in the past 2 years since we started, we've had a huge impact. And the reason why we've been able to scale is because the challenges are so many. And for Bitcoin Dada, we do not victimize ourselves, right? We know the problem is there, but we try and come up with solutions that can actually help us instead of sticking to the victimization level. So we've expanded to 11 different countries, African countries. We've had job placements for the ladies. We've trained over 500 female and 200 youths. We have collaborated with universities to bring them financial education and just to introduce Bitcoin into the universities. Wealth accumulation, which is a very strong point, because if you're African, you know African females have no right to inherit property unless they really work their ass off and actually buy their property for themselves. So with Bitcoin, this is really important for us, because with Bitcoin, you can start accumulating your wealth with even just $1, right? We have had solutions built for Africans by Africans, which I just talked about, creating Bitcoin circular economies, which is very important, that sitting, like Femi said, sitting on Twitter and just say, hodl, hodl, hodl. I don't think we'll ever get to that hyper-Bitcoinization level by just doing that. We need to go out into the community and reach out to the people in a more relatable way. We've had mental health awareness, so we work with a professional. So it's not just about our financial well-being, but the overall well-being of these women. We have collaborated with universities, and I must add here that we have had support from products such as BitNob. I don't know if the BitNob guys are here. We've worked with them. Thank you so much. We've worked with BitNob to do activations in universities. We've also worked with Machankura as well. And then lastly, a community approach. And I just want to stress on this when I want to stress and say, Bitcoin for us is not just a digital currency. It's a tool that will liberate us as Africans from the financial constraints or the financial chains that have been long imposed on us. So please, let's use Bitcoin as it suits us as Africans, and not just copy-pasting everything that we see from the West. And as I leave the stage, I want to leave with a quote that really resonates with me, and it says, "I am not free while any woman isn't free, even when her shackles are very different from my own." The reason why I chose this quote is because a lot of people come to me and ask me, why do you do what you do? What do you gain from helping these women? I believe whether you're female, male, white, black, whatever, Muslim, Christian, if any of us at some level, we are caged, at some point that will also affect us. So it really doesn't matter, oh, I'm living a good life, these people are having problems. Those problems will definitely trickle to you at some point. So it's very it's very important to understand that we need to do something as a community, as the Bitcoin community, at whatever level that you can. And as I leave, for my African sisters who are in this space, whether you're a Dada or not, I would like to say that I might still be learning, but I'm definitely taking you along with me. Thank you.
And we